Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel and the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. This is for the 30th of April, 1983, and this is the Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling Review Series. We're almost to 2,100 reviews on the channel. Rotundo and Weaver versus Masafuchi and Red Dog Lane is your, opening contest for this one. Seems like they haven't really, since the television championship win, found a great deal to do with Rotundo on a consistent basis. And so, that's kind of there. A deep atomic drop and some basic maneuvers. And ultimately, kind of some snapovers, basic stuff there, and go behinds and basic things here. We see a roll through and kind of staying on there by Lane. Lane trying to keep Rotundo down. Rotundo obviously super, I guess you'd say, engaged or whatever in that pursuit, and doesn't exactly get everything he wants, but gets enough, and does wrestle around, gets back to his feet, standing switch, among other things. Masafuchi comes in, and Fuchi, who I assume is on loan from one of the Japanese promotions at the time, manages to trade his wares with Mike Rotundo pretty assertively, aggressively, getting the point across, and then we see Weaver coming in and managing a bulldog out of nowhere there, and gets everything he can out of that process as well. Big airplane spin from Rotundo leads to the victory. And again, we see Valentine and Slater talking at length about Valentine no longer is, I believe, your U.S. champion. He's unhappy about that, but continuing to be and wanting to be in the ring with Ric Flair, claiming once again, after several weeks of not claiming it, but basically claiming he should be the world champion. There is a house show highlight match. Flair and Valentine, better than could be imagined. Also, Flair and Valentine had teamed up in 79 or so. Valentine slowing things down. Only a few minutes in that match, and a bit of a brawl. More striking from Valentine. Wear down from Flair. Flair says he wants the U.S. Championship on the line, so I guess I was either wrong or somebody spoke wrong in the commentary, because of the inference that Valentine no longer had the U.S. Championship was there. But Flair, in a post-match promo with the NWA Championship, my favorite NWA Championship, the 10 pounds of gold belt, mentions that he wants Valentine's belt on the line in the future. The U.S. Championship, though, does belong to Roddy Piper in a little bit, and ultimately Piper manages to go at it with adversary Bill Alexander, and Piper, punch, kick, chops, really basic offense. Piper never known for having the most detailed offense. Piper wearing the green and yellow trunks that he had won prior, and manages to roll his man up. We go back to Florida for the next in the series of matches here, and a modified match that we'd seen before, Jake Roberts and Barry Windham. Not sure if Wyndham's coming back into the area anytime immediately soon. I know he does come back before the close of the year, and or very early in '84, but then leaves again for the WWF for a while. Needless to say, Jake Roberts in this highlight package that we've seen previous weeks gets into it with Gordon Solie. Jake Roberts and Mike Rotundo, who have met before on this program, basically on a collision course. Rotundo saying he wants to get his hands on Roberts and do away with him once and for all. Speaking of do away with once and for all, One Man Gang says that Andre the Giant has been defeated by him, and Sir Oliver Humperdinck, his manager, backs this up, although there is no footage to back this up. Apparently that is a hype around the area for Andre's return. Remember, Andre's still touring, probably until sometime in 1984 as a touring attraction sort of thing. Then we go to another in the series of matches here, and we move into Rufus R. Jones versus Bill White, which is not exactly your best of situations. Bill White, a bigger guy. Rufus R. Jones, relatively new to the territory. I think actually this might be his first or second at most television match. And obviously Rufus R. Jones is, getting a couple of hip tosses, basic maneuvers, headlock takeovers, getting some ride time on White, and not really getting a great deal of aggression assertion, and kind of looking at it there, and ultimately hitting a tackle and getting a couple of tackles along the way, and wrenching in that way. Um, the teasing of dissension between Steamboat and the Steamboat Youngblood and the Briscoes continues there. Kind of teasing that they want to do a match. There is a promo between the two teams, and kind of teasing that in fact that match will happen down the road, but it's not set out like Jost LeDoux and Ricky Harris is here. LeDoux, who really at the time still has beef with House of Humperdinck since he had not been in a situation of, I guess, greater value, is there, and ultimately some shots into the throat of Jost LeDoux, and manages to get what he can where he can. A couple of shots along the way, and does test his strength. Jost LeDoux is not really being challenged much by his adversary here. Also punch kick and some bear hugs, leading to the victory for the bald Canadian superstar. And then we go to, again, the team of Gary Hart, Kabuki, and the Magic Dragon. Magic Dragon this time wearing a green and multicolored mask, away from the blue mask with a stripe that he wore last week. And Kabuki and Magic Dragon go into a enhancement talent match, basically, with Len Rossi and Vinny Valentino. That match is there simply to give the new Asian tag team a platform. Magic Dragon, as he does in World Class around the same time, which if you haven't heard our 300-part World Class edition, worth checking out there. But the cutoff of the ring by Kabuki and Magic Dragon leads to an advantage for his tandem, and again we kind of see that rolling up and rolling through, and ultimately Sergeant Slaughter manages to do what he can where he can, and ultimately he kind of comes in, talks about having the tag team championships back. Whether they've won them or whether they stole them, we don't really know, because that's kind of a blurry storyline over the last little while. However, jumping out Steamboat and others, and there is a brawl that breaks things up to close the program with Slaughter, and the one half of the tag champs, or the former tag champs, is there as well. And we close on that note. We'll be back with more right after this.